Today in our series on free enterprise with the Florida Chamber of Commerce, we're joined by Dr. Kenneth Ford, founder and director of the Florida Institute for Human and Machine Cognition. IHMC is a not-for-profit, university-affiliated research institute located in Pensacola, Florida. Dr. Ford, welcome to the program. Let's start here. Tell me a little bit about the Florida Institute for Human and Machine Cognition. What is that?
Well, that's a great question. IHMC is a not-for-profit research institute of the Florida University system, and we have locations in Pensacola and also in Ocala, Florida. IHMC is composed of a team of interdisciplinary researchers that aims to pioneer new technologies aimed at leveraging and extending human capabilities, primary among these, of course, being cognition. The systems that arise from the science and technology that we develop at IHMC is intended to fit the human and the machine components together in ways that exploit the relative strengths of each and mitigate the respective weaknesses of each.
How does the work of IHMC fit into Florida's efforts to diversify our economy? I mean, obviously, we're in an era of innovation. So specifically, what kind of impact does your work make?
Well, I would say IHMC is at the front edge of this ambition. And in particular, we serve as a talent magnet, actively drawing some of the best and brightest innovators in science and technology from around the world to Florida. So toward that end, it's very important to us that we foster a work environment that provides the scientists and engineers the necessary tools and flexibility to successfully innovate. In short, we try to provide our colleagues a habitat for innovation. And this is at the heart of IHMC's value system and at the heart of our success. Innovation in many ways is place-based, and our headquarters is where I'm sitting now, is right smack in the middle of the heart of historic downtown Pensacola. And we find this to be a stimulating, human-scale urban environment where our researchers like to live, work, and play. We also occupy, in addition to the 5 buildings in Pensacola's historic district, we also have a new location in Ocala, Florida, that's been expanding rapidly. And that location is particularly convenient for fostering collaboration with several of Florida's research universities that are located nearby. But in a nutshell, we're proud of our contribution to the redevelopment of downtown Pensacola in particular, and we are strongly engaged with the community in Ocala as well. And then on top of the direct impact, our R&D deliverables directly translate into opportunities for clever and innovative business people as well as equity investors to work with us and enjoy the technology transfer and commercialization possibilities.
Yeah, that lays a great segue. You know, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, a lot of people know them by the acronym DARPA, recently held a World Robotics Challenge. You took part in that with the IHMC's Running Man robot, placed second in the world in the Robotics Challenge. Tell us about the competition, and then what follows for what you do there at IHMC.
Well, it was an incredible 2 years. The competition was spread over, and before I even talk about that, I think I should say that the motivation for this competition was in response to a humanitarian need that became glaringly clear at the nuclear disaster at Fukushima in 2011. So Japan, as you know, is a world leader in robotics, and yet the robots weren't able to function in Fukushima. And, the tools were designed for humans, and the stairways and the ladders were designed for humans. And this really drove home the point that we needed to develop a robotic capability that could function in human environments. So the challenge then consisted of 3 increasingly demanding competitions spread over 2 years. And we were first in the first one, second in the second one, and second in the third one. The goal was to accelerate progress in robotics and hasten the day when you could say that robots had sufficient dexterity, intelligence, and even robustness to enter areas too dangerous for humans and to mitigate the impacts of natural or even man-made disasters. Now, the finals, which is what you were discussing, were just conducted earlier this month. And here, the participating teams and their robots were challenged to complete a very difficult course. I mean, this would have been science fiction just a few years ago. And this course was designed to be relevant to disaster response. So to just mention a few of the things, the robot has to drive a vehicle itself through sort of a zigzag course up to a building and walk through very difficult rubble, be smart about plugging and unplugging things and tripping circuit breakers and turning valves, using a hand saw, a regular human saw, to cut a pattern in sheetrock, climbing stairs, these sorts of things. And about a dozen teams from the United States participated, as well as 11 foreign teams from Japan, Germany, Italy, Korea, and Hong Kong. And as you know, IHMC finished second overall with a perfect score, successfully completing all the tasks, and first among teams using the Atlas robot, which is a walking robot without wheels, and first among all U.S. teams. So we were very excited about that and have had just extensive and really wonderfully positive press coverage, including the cover of Time Magazine and Nova, Discovery Channel, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, The Economist, and many others. And you asked about where the future leads. Well, this is just really the beginning. This is still early days, and I anticipate that our robotics group will continue its track record of excellence and innovation. And, I'm confident that we'll see great things in the years ahead.
Dr. Ford, fascinating insights into what you do and how it impacts our economy here in Florida. And thanks so much for the time today.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. Thank you.